Today, we're getting back on the topic of Larry Reid, and we are going to be talking about how his ex mentor is sharing some more explosive claims about how Larry allegedly spent millions on luxury and lifestyle instead of leadership. And now he's shifting the blame for his downfall. So let's get into it. And we're going to get into it as we always do over here with honesty and perspective. What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this holy mess. All right, guys. So Larry Reid has been the continued discussion as the subject comes up because his ex mentor, he was back on the official King Jobs YouTube channel again on yesterday, and he exposed some more details about his lifestyle and the luxury and living flashy, buying designer clothes, cars, spending millions that could have gone into building his ministry and even building other people up and securing his future. And now he is deflecting the accountability of what he chose to do, whether it was smart or foolish. It was a choice that he made to give millions, he claims, to his ex mentor that he called the master prophet, that he had on his platform for years, that he absolutely benefited from. And while, yeah, both of them may have benefited from things for sure, the fact that Larry Reid is the one who has had these differences of why he chose to end that connection, attachment, relationship, mentorship, business connection, whatever it was, he was the one that chose to end it allegedly because of the things that he said. The reasons have been different. He has not stayed on one playing field when it came to the reason as to why he chose to disconnect or unattach himself from his ex mentor, from his master prophet that he was claiming was the master prophet. And he was saying all of these wonderful, incredible things about that we see pictures of him kissing on the head, not the reverse, right? And so, because Larry Reid was the one that chose to bring all of this stuff to the public, because trust and believe, I believe a lot of other people probably could have cared less, but he was the one that chose to bring all of this information to the forefront. It has become a topic of conversation, and because he was the one that chose to bring all of this stuff to the forefront, he can't get upset that now his ex mentor is deciding to go on other people's platforms to share the details of what was really going on. You know, turnabout is fair play. You may not like it, but you can't do anything but respect it. But we know that he doesn't respect it. And we know that Larry Reid is one of those people that is all about get back in terms of situations like this. But the thing about it is, you could maybe say the same thing about his ex mentor, because the fact that he is choosing to go on platforms that he knew his ex mentee, Larry Reid, was not a fan of, was not fond of, was maybe even enemies with in some way, shape, or form, that now he's doing the same thing that Larry Reid would probably do because Larry Reid has done it. He has done it. When he felt like he had an attachment or a connection to Tasha K, he was all in over there. But as soon as Tasha K had the information about his allegations of child misconduct, that's what it was. Those were the allegations. Then he got upset with Tasha K for exposing things that were actually public information that she did not want to have any connection or attachment to. Then he chose to go on platforms to try to dismantle her character, to try to bring her down, and going on platforms that at the time she was not in a good place with. You see what I'm saying? So it's like some may say this is probably just his karma, and that's just what it is. But at either rate, his ex mentor is sharing a lot more information. So we're going to get into some of these things that he had to say yesterday.
This is no shade, y'all. I ain't trying to be funny, but as far as Larry's concerned, everybody's wondering how he lost his money and everything. No, like me personally, I'm gonna say no one is responsible for what you do with your own finances. No one is responsible for you making money and then squandering your money. If you choose to make $50,000 and then you choose to go and spend it all on whatever, and then you're lacking the next term, that's not I would say that's not your mentor's fault. That's not your coach's fault. That's your fault. If you choose not to apply the teachings or the skills or the knowledge, that's your fault.
And I'm going to pause it right there, because whether people want to feel like official King Jives is a snake for having this man, which his title is on the screen, it says Archbishop E. Bernard Jordan, Larry Reid called him the master prophet, whatever it is, whether people want to feel like King Jives is a snake for having him on his platform, that's people's opinion, and they have the right to feel however they want to feel. But if this man is coming up on his platform, he allows him up there and he's sharing the things that he's sharing, what King Jive said right there is actually true. You may not like it, but it is the truth. He chose, at the end of it all, he chose to give the so-called millions that he gave to his master prophet, to his mentor. No one made him do it. I don't believe anyone put a weapon up to his head and say, do it or your life is over. It was a decision. It was a choice that he made. Whether it was smart or stupid, it was his choice. So now you're going to come out here and blast him for the money that you chose to give to him. That was your choice. People can call the guy crooked. I'm talking about his former mentor. They can call him crooked. They can call him whatever. But either way, Larry Reid chose to do what he was doing. And I'm going to show you something else that he chose to do in a minute.
Well, listen, number one, do you believe in your heart of hearts, and type in the chat room, that I could make Larry Reid do anything? Okay. Y'all know Larry Reid. And I don't seek to make anyone do anything. My people let you know that. See, once you say the Lord says, or you go in the direction, I said, okay, we'll stand with it. We'll see what the outcome is. So I see Queen said no. Do y'all think I can make him? If I could make Larry do anything, I would have had him already in a magenta shirt and in a collar and sitting with a local church, remarry Lisa and give a home to those two children, and then began to start to build a life and then start apologizing to the people that he hurt, and he would have been on an apology tour.
Ooh. Wonder who's on that list of people that he should be apologizing to. So basically what he was saying was, if I could make him do anything, I would make him live a life and a lifestyle that I feel is more honorable than the one that he was living, going around the country and around the world with a bunch of boys and young men, or maybe men close to his age, spending money on body massages, wink, wink, hint, hint. Yeah. Wasting money on renting mansions and leasing these high-end automobiles and spending money on luxury items. I would make him be a husband, be a father to his children, being the head of a local church. This is what he's saying. Listen, I'm not saying that that would be the right thing for him to do either, because listen, if the man is a gay man, he should not be married to any woman. But I'm just saying.
That would have been, if I could have controlled him as a robot, then I would have had him put money, and he already knows this, he would have had money already in Bitcoin. He would have had money into BITO. He would have had money in ETFs, and he would be getting a dividend check on tomorrow, because of one of the things I talk about is paying a dividend. If I could have controlled him, he would have been getting dividend checks weekly. The fact of the matter is, Larry is his own person, and we want everyone to be their own person. All we can do is set before you life and death.
Right.
But if we want to know where the money went, yes, did he give? If he said he gave $3 million, he gave $3 million. If he gave $3 million, he gave the tithe. He made $30 million. Did he really make $30 million? Well, you add it up. So if you want to know, like, where did the money go? We can start looking at, we can start typing in some of these names in the chat room, and some of you can help me. Let's try Gucci, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Balmain, Prada.
So Larry was making investments, quote unquote, into the crap that he wore on his funky body versus into investments that increase with value over time. That's what the so-called master prophet and his former mentor is saying right now.
Bishop, it's not hard to spend $1 million. It's really not. I mean,
so I'm going to stop it right there. I just wanted to share a little bit of this, guys. I'm going to put the full video link in the description box if you would like to check it out. But yeah, he's pretty much saying, look, don't come and blame me for the money that you chose to give to me. Don't deflect the accountability. Start taking it. Maybe you'll start learning some lessons, because that is what, even though I don't follow him, the things that I've seen of him over the years, he loves to blame other people. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that, a little bit more of that in a second. But the conversation that he had with King Jives on that video that he did yesterday, it exposes the bigger issue of the toxic cycle of this so-called spiritual celebrity culture. When you have so-called leaders, they're chasing attention instead of accountability. And they want to live a lifestyle that they believe they deserve to live. And then when things are going down bad, then you want to blame other people for what is going on right now, instead of, if you were a so-called Christian, a so-called believer in God, why aren't you using that Bible to read and study it? And even the Bible talks about wisdom and using the time that you have now and the money that you have now to invest and to stock up and to store up for times of famine later. There's a whole lot of people who have never reached the amount of money that this clown had the opportunity to reach for whatever reason. I still don't know why, but either way, would have loved to have been in the position that he was in financially, just so that they could start storing up and stacking up and saving up, investing for their future, versus showcasing this lavish lifestyle that they're so-called living right now, that he really was never about that life. He never was really about that life. But I'm going to show you a few things that he was about. Now, this is from the Real Estate Insider. I'll have the full video link in the description box, but this is just a little bit of how this clown was living, and it didn't even belong to him.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Real Estate Insider. Today we're checking out a luxury rental tucked into Sandy Springs, right outside Buckhead. And if you've ever watched Larry Reid live, this house is going to look real familiar. Yep, this is the former mansion rental of YouTube's own Larry Reid. And trust me, we've seen a lot of it over the years. This place is massive, over 10,456 square feet, with 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and a 4-car garage. It sits on more than 1.4 acres, fully gated, and it's packed with luxury from top to bottom. Now, this is an empty home tour. He has moved.
I'm going to rewind this just a little bit. I wanted to hear how many acres it was, just out of my own curiosity, because I don't follow him, and so I've never really seen it.
It sits on more than 1.4 acres, fully gated.
1.4 acres. Okay. $24,500 a month he was paying for rent.
And it's packed with luxury from top to bottom. Now, this is an empty home tour. He has moved. If you followed his live streams or the reality show he had, you definitely saw parts of this.
Oh my God, it's so funny because I had not watched this video yet, and the fact that he used the same picture that I had, I'm sorry, that's funny to me. When this picture popped up, I was like, hold up. I was like, I thought I was sharing a video, but yeah, he has this in his he has the same picture in this video, and I'm sorry, this picture is just creepy.
House, especially that huge balcony right off the primary bedroom. It made several cameos. And who could forget the garage where he used to park that Rolls Royce Cullinan? Now, just to be clear, Larry Reid
A Rolls Royce Cullinan.
did not own this house. It was sold back in 2007 for $710,000, and Larry came in later as a renter, reportedly paying about $18,000 a month.
That house was sold for $710,000. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the house was in foreclosure, it was in a short sale or what, but that is a huge home for only $710,000 a month. I know they say that, the market in Georgia is really not that expensive, but this is 2025. It's not like it's the 2000s. So that really is not a whole lot of money for that house, but that's a lot of money for the rent.
And now the same house is back up for lease, going for $24,500 a month. That's inflation right there. The house itself is basically a personal resort, a dramatic entryway with a spiral staircase, soaring ceilings, marble and limestone floors, a full theater, steam room, sauna, bar, wine cellar, and all the fancy stuff,
And honestly, to me, that's absolutely insane. And the reason why I wanted to hear how many acres the house was on, because I believe he said the house had like 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, or maybe it was vice versa. I can't remember. And it's over 10,000 square feet. Honestly, that's really ridiculous. Unless you have a huge family where you need that much space, to me, is just kind of ridiculous because I own some property where at some point in time I intend to build on it, but it's more acreage than that. And I wouldn't even put a home that large on it. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, the the space is palatial. It's very luxurious, but it's insane. It's insanity. Fast forward a little bit.
Already hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you won't miss more homes of all the celebs. We got everybody over here. Drop a comment if there's anyone you'd like to see, and enjoy the tour.
I want a Birkin bag, a certain brag, the swag Barack Obama had. Without the bombs, can't right my wrongs, it take too long. I need to write another song. Pull the lever, crunk, don't take forever. Even with
So I'm gonna just mute the music so you can see this is how he was living. This is look at the floors. It's just, to be honest with you, the way his character is, he didn't even deserve to live in a space like this, and he was wasting his money. And so spending all of that money on rent every month just to showcase to the public and to feel some type of way to say, see, this is how I'm living. Y'all niggas ain't on my level. But he wasn't even on the level that he was singing that other people were not on, because him living like this, it wasn't even his. It belonged to somebody else. And for the amount of money that he was paying for rent, was just absolutely insane. But you see, guys, this was another way that he was living, in my personal opinion, cover ups. I'm going to play a little bit from this video where Tasha K had a phone conversation with Larry Reid. This was from years ago. This was before she interviewed Lavontre Andrews, his alleged victim from years ago, a former parishioner in his church who was a child. I don't care if he was below or above the age limit. Either way, it's all disgusting. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get into this little quick video clip of her having this conversation with Larry Reid, because at the time, she and he had, they had some small work attachment in terms of the vlogging space. But when this information came to her forefront, she confronted him about it, and she intended to have a conversation with Lavontre and interview, but she wanted to let him know first. So she absolutely gave him the respect that he actually didn't even deserve, to let him know prior to and to get his feedback. And, she wanted to hear what he had to say about it.
A lot has transpired on the internet. I had a relationship with you. I think it's only fair that you get to speak on it. or talk about it if you want to. And it's not fair for me to put out or attempt to do a story, because I haven't done it yet, without you speaking on it.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Well, the only accuser that was somebody that accused me of something that was a crime was the person that I've already filed a lawsuit against.
There's 3 other people, though.
I don't know who they is. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So
Who that could be at all.
you
But
sure?
I can't speak on something. I don't even know who the people are.
Well, what about speaking on the one accuser that you filed a lawsuit against?
Well, now I won't speak. I won't speak on any of that because it's not true. And if I speak on it, I'm gonna publicize it. And ain't none
But I
of it
think
true.
you've been on platforms before. Didn't you speak on like Conscious platform and you had kind of made comment about it?
I never have. There's no footage of that because I never done it.
And that was a lie. Because yeah, he would never discuss those things on his own platform. He would go on other people's platforms to discuss it. And see, that's why I'm not even sitting here mad at his ex-mentor going on other people's platforms to talk about the things that he wants to discuss where it regards Larry Reid, because how is that any different than what Larry Reid was doing? Turnabout is fair play.
Really?
Never ever. Not even as it relates to that dude. I never have. Because it's a complete lie.
What if I told you the reason I'm considering taking the story is because there are some receipts that seem pretty solid?
That's impossible.
You sure?
People accuse. I'm 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, I am just none of these things surprise me, and so for him to be so upset with his ex-mentor, the man that he propped up, I wouldn't say he gave relevance to, because let's be clear, whether you like Bernard Jordan or not, like I said, this man has been around for years. He may not be in the social media space like Larry Reid is, and even Larry Reid, to be honest with you, ain't really all that, because it's not like he has some millions and millions of followers. But I'm just saying, it's a man that is financially set and successful, where Larry Reid was able to benefit from that. And yeah, Larry Reid's platform gave him more exposure too. But if he was the one that was sleeping on the floor, amongst other things, prior to connecting with this man who chose or is choosing to go on other people's platforms to discuss things and answer questions and give what he, says is his financial advice and foresight and all this other stuff, what is the issue? You may not like it, but I'm quite sure that there's a whole lot of other people that did not like Larry Reid talking about them on his platform and other people's platforms. And I'm quite sure that his alleged victim, Lavontre Andrews, didn't like the fact that he used the court system, in my personal opinion, to try to silence him. Like I said, you can sue anyone for anything. It doesn't mean that you actually have a case. And that's no different than 45/47 suing all of these people that he really shouldn't be suing, because they have spoken facts about him, just to be in a space of where you want get back, you want revenge, you want to silence people, you want to make people be broke, you want them to spend money on legal fees and the court system and on all of those different things, and spend time that you can never get back. You can always get money back, but you can't get time back. To sue your alleged victim is wild work to me. But a narcissist like 45/47 and like the one you see on the screen, they'll do things like that. And that's the sick part, because the justice system really isn't fair, and they will allow things like that to happen. There are some times where cases get dismissed, or they will, throw a case out. It's not all the time, and it's not even common, because the court system is definitely set up for it to make money and for lawyers to make money. And that's why I say all the time, in a lot of these cases, the real winners are the lawyers because they're going to get their money. They're going to get their money. So with all of that being said, guys, I just wanted to share some of this. I want to know what you guys think about what Bishop Jordan had to say, about what the real estate insider showed about the home that he was renting, and even that clip of the conversation that Tasha K had with Larry Reid years ago prior to the interview that she did with Levontre Andrews. And I've got more upcoming on that, but I just wanted to start with that. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.